Welcome to the Hairpreneur Show, the show that teaches you, the hair pro, how to work smarter so you can make more, work less, and live a purpose-driven life on your schedule, not your clients'. I'm your host, Ryan Weeden, and each week I'll teach you awesome, actionable ways to tap into your personal greatness. Through marketing, mindset, and confidence training, it's time to unlock the next level of you. Let's grow. Hey everybody, Ryan Weeden here with the Hairpreneur Show. It is 7:58 p.m. on a Thursday night. I was looking at my schedule and I realized I didn't have anything scheduled for a podcast to come out on Monday. So of course it's Thursday night and I'm thinking, wow, I could either do something right now or I could just push it off a little bit, procrastinate a little bit. But I've been on such a good run and I don't want to break that run. So I figured, you know what? I am just going to wait for the kids to go to bed and suck it up, show up, and make this happen. It's going to be a quick one, folks, but it's going to be hopefully very important for you to hear because it's about pivoting. And with the pandemic in our, rear view mirror, we're still kind of looking at it. Yes, we're still in the midst of it, but we see the end of it now. We see the light ahead. So the bulk of it, I'd like to think, is in our rear view mirror. But what it's taught us is that, okay, for us hairstylists that had a salon business or you worked in a salon, basically you worked in a brick-and-mortar type of a situation, type of a salon atmosphere. What happened to a lot of us, especially those of us in California, is we realized if that was our sole form of income, if clients were coming in and sitting in our chair for us to make money and to earn a living, and we depend on that, what happens if our salons shut down? It's something that we never really ever considered. Sure, there are things that happen in a salon, maybe like a leak, maybe something that might potentially shut the salon down for a few days, a week, tops. It's not something that's going to completely derail us, but we never really thought that we would be closed for such a long time. And for anybody that was your sole form of income, and I know a lot of hairstylists, that is it. That's how you get your paycheck. That's how you pay your bills. You need butts in your chair. And if you don't have that, then you don't have any money coming in. What I'm going to talk to you about today, I'm going to give you a little kick in the ass. This is a kick in the ass to get online, to start finding your personality online. Yeah, I know you are you and your personality is probably awesome. That's why clients come to you and that's why they love you. But I'm talking about when you put a camera on, you turn it on, you click record or you click that live button, like the go live button, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you change. And most people change and they turn into like a deer in headlights and they don't know how to come across on a camera. I got to tell you, the same thing is with any new platform or any form of media that is not second nature, something that you actually have to think about and really show up for. Podcasting being one of those. I was better at jumping in front of a camera and coming alive that way than sitting alone in a room like I am now with a microphone to my mouth and talking. The first time for several times I recorded a podcast, I'm not going to say terrible, but I was monotone. I was so uncomfortable that it came across in what I was doing. I made so many mistakes. I was even reading word for word from a book, and this used to be my thing. When I was younger in school, I would be the guy raising his hand in class saying, can I read the next chapter? Can I read? Because I loved it. And then for something happened after that years later where I can't even open a book and read out loud anymore. I mean, I can read my kids' children's books and I have a lot of fun with that. But what I'm getting at is I stumbled and fumbled through so many words. And as doing that, I didn't have a personality coming across. And it was a book that I wrote called How to Make Six Figures in a Salon Suite. So these were my words that I wrote. And the way I was reading it, I wasn't trying to read it like you're reading a definition in a dictionary or that you're reading something matter of fact. I wanted to have emotion in it. I wanted to sound like me, just like I want to sound like me on this podcast. I want to sound and look like me on a movie or behind a camera or in front of a camera. You know what I'm saying? So in order to do that, you think oh, well, I'm just me. I'm just going to be myself and see what happens, right? But we get so self-conscious when you turn on that record button or you hit that go live button and suddenly we're not ourselves anymore and it's hard to show up and be authentic. It's really freaking weird. But going back to the whole pandemic thing, we realized, okay, you know what? If my only form of income and life stability comes from working at a brick and mortar in a salon, and suddenly that funnel of funds is cut off and I don't have that income anymore. Wow, what am I going to do? I got to go virtual. So many companies went virtual. Thankfully, I was already virtual. I've been virtual with an online membership site, balayageonline.com. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. balayageonline.com. I started that in 2017 because I mentioned him a lot, Brennan Burchard and a lot of these other internet marketers that had gotten into that game a long time ago, and they're multimillionaires just from online courses. So I'm like, well, why can't I have a piece of that, right? So I decided to get into that, and it was a little bit of a struggle getting used to that and learning a completely new skill set, but oh my God, is it worth it? Now, what I am here to tell you today is you got to get online. You have to find out how to go virtual, get comfortable with it, and make money online. It's the future. It's recurring monthly revenue while you sleep. It's like investing in stocks, but you're investing in people. You're investing in your own talent because you're putting what you know on the membership platform or whatever it is. We use something called kajabi.com, or it's called Kajabi, but you can go to it, kajabi.com. I'll send you a link for a special deal or something in the comment section or however you see this. If you go to ryanweeden.com, the blog section, you find this. I'll make sure that the link is there and you'll get an affiliate discount there, I believe. So check it out. It's incredible. I've been using it since 2017 and it has created such an incredible revenue stream. Yes, it's been hard work, but once you get a site set up, it works with very little effort. It's like getting that momentum going, and it's hard to start pushing that boulder up the hill, right? But the closer you get to the top of the hill, the easier it gets. And that is a terrible analogy. You know what I'm saying? You're pushing something and it gains momentum and then it's easier to keep it going. I don't know how I got into the whole boulder pushing thing, because I'm like, nah, it's not going to get easier pushing it up the hill. It's actually going to get harder. This is what happens when you start recording a podcast at 8:05 p.m., right? Oh, and by the way, I don't have a guest today, obviously. I'm just like, I got to do something and get it done. This is the Ryan Weeden, Rob Smith. Rob Smith is my best friend. We created this phrase we call GSD. It's get shit done. We both GSD. It's our GSD principle. Whatever it takes, we get shit done, and that's a key to success. That's just a little interjection there. If you really want to be successful, you just got to figure out how to GSD, get shit done, right? Get it done. Stop complaining, shut up, and show up. But if you're a hairstylist, if you're, anybody, if you're, if you are a stay-at-home mom, become a mompreneur, find a way to get virtual, find a way to get online and start making money. You could make an extra couple $100 a month just by teaching somebody a skill that they might not possess. It could be, you could show them how to make bread and have tutorials on that and sell a course on how to make the best bread or your signature loaf. And you could make tons of money with that. You'd be surprised. And then you do maybe a video a month or a couple of videos a month or even less than that and have a reasonable monthly recurring fee, and you're going to get members that sign up as long as you are delivering value to people, which is the goal. You want to make sure that people are getting and feeling loved, feeling like what they're paying their money, their hard-earned money for, that they're getting something out of it. They're getting far more value than the cost of it, especially if they're going to keep paying you month after month. And that's what we continue to try to do with our Balayage Online membership site. But if you're a hairstylist, you got to find out what you're really good at. And I think a lot of you already know. I mean, some of you might like to do a lot of things and you need to start to specialize a little bit because the riches are in the niches. What is your niche specialty in the business, in the beauty business, in any business? What is your niche specialty? Because once you find that out, that's what you got to teach. And you can teach balayage just like I can teach balayage, just like somebody else could teach balayage if that's our niche specialty. There are a lot of balayage artists out there, and if every single one of them came out with a course, yes, it might compete with mine a little bit. However, nobody is going to teach it the way I teach it, just like I'm not going to be able to teach it like any other person that teaches balayage, because what people are actually paying for with online membership sites is, yes, content, but they're paying for perspective. They're paying for your perspective on how do you do this to become successful? What can I learn from you in particular that has taken you to success? Because maybe that will resonate with me. And of course, there's not one size fits all. I mean, you could take a course from me and from another balayage artist and another balayage artist. And of course, I'm just using that balayage as an example, but if it was bread making, I could teach you how to make bread. Well, you wouldn't want me to teach you how to make bread. But if I was like a chef and that was my thing, I made killer loaves of bread, or however you would call it, right? I make the best French loaf around, and here's another course that teaches French loaf baking, and somebody else that does the same thing. But I guarantee you we're all going to do it a little bit differently. So if you are into the bread making world, then maybe you subscribe to all three because you want to learn how every single person does it and then eventually make it your own. But there is so much considerable income, whether you're doing virtual events, they could be once a month and they're paid events. It could be a membership site. It could be an online course. That's kind of something you pay for and you get it all at once. There are so many different ways to take what you know and monetize it and sell the information in your head. And if it's a skill in your hands, to show them how to become better themselves, because that is what is going to inspire others the way that whatever skill you're doing inspired you. So you're taking your soul and you're putting it out there for other people, and you're taking your perspective and talking about, this is what works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. I hope it'll work for you. Let me show you everything that I know. And hopefully then you can have some success in your life and hopefully have huge success. Because if you have huge success, hopefully you'll tell people that Ryan was the guy that started to take me there. And then you start to live in infamy. And that would be pretty cool. But you got to get online. If you still work in a salon, fantastic. But you need to start adding more streams of income, because what happens if COVID-20 comes around the corner? I don't know how naming viruses happens, but the next big virus, of course, we haven't seen anything like this ever. Well, maybe 100 years ago when many of us weren't alive. There was not smallpox, but flu, another huge pandemic that many of us didn't witness and experience. But regardless, it could happen again. The world could shut down again. It's shown us that can happen, that the complete unspeakable that we never thought could happen could actually happen. So what we need to do is start to plan ahead and think, okay, what am I going to do if something else happens that is going to shut down my salon business, my brick-and-mortar business? I need other forms of income, and I got to tell you, the most profitable way, one of the most profitable ways that I know of, which is why I'm telling you from my perspective, is online education. Whatever it is, what is your skill? What is a passion that you have that you think other people want to know about? You got to get started. Yes, it's going to take a lot to get used to learning a new skill set, learning about online, learning about how to even use the camera correctly to get the blur of the background, to get the right focus and aperture and shutter speed, and what type of film do you use? But thankfully we don't use film anymore. We use memory cards and everything like that. But there's so much to learn. But oh my God, it is so much fun when you have all this incredible tech stuff around. You got these awesome cameras and I got all this fun stuff. Yeah, I'm a guy and I like all the techie stuff and all the flashing buttons and everything. That makes me feel really special. Like, hey, I made it. I got all this really expensive stuff. He who dies with the most toys wins, right? No, I'm kidding. But you need to start learning. You need to start putting yourself out there in uncomfortable territory, like learning a new skill, because that's what's going to save you in the end, or if something like this happens again. Right? Worst case scenario, you're making more money in a different way. So you could potentially double what you're making in the salon. You could make triple, quadruple. You could become a multi-millionaire with doing this online courses and everything. It's incredible what the future is holding, and more people are going virtual. So more and more people are accepting about pulling out their credit card and jumping on a website that they pay for or an online subscription course. And you got to figure it out. So here is my virtual kick in your butt to start monetizing your passions, your skills, your expertises, your niches. Do it now. If you have any questions about this, I'm doing a little coaching on it on the side. I kind of fell into coaching, helping people and hairstylists and salon owners and educators on how to set up their own online courses. And it's something I'm very passionate about. And it's a lot of fun. So I kind of fell into that. So if you're interested in being coached, send me a DM on Instagram. This isn't like about an ad or anything like that. I'm not really trying to get tons of clients because I don't have that much time. But if you are serious about it, send me a DM. Otherwise, get going, learn something, put it out there, share everything you know, and get paid for it. Ryan Weeden, out. I love hearing from you. And by the way, have you subscribed to the podcast yet? Oh my gosh, if you haven't, please do so right now because there's so much cool stuff ahead. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because it would be much cooler if you did. Plus, I don't want you to miss any of the new episodes I'm dropping weekly. Last thing, if you haven't checked out RyanWeeden.com yet, there are some great freebies on there that I want to give you. So go ahead and check it out, RyanWeeden.com. Thank you so much for listening. You are awesome.